Tyler. Okay, that's kind of the fastest section of trail. Down through all these braking bumps. What's up, guys? We are out here on the brand new Yeti SB140. What a cool bike, man. The geometry is incredible on this bike. I've got a link in the description here to go online and look at all the actual nerdy numbers of the geometry and all that stuff. But the real quick stuff is 140 mil rear travel, 160 millimeters of travel in the fork, Fox 36, DPX2, and then a 65 degree head tube angle, 77 degree seat tube angle. So this bike is actually, man, just climbing on it and just kind of tooling around on it when I was setting up the suspension and stuff, it kind of reminds me a little bit of my old Ibis HD4. Real similar head tube angle. It's a little longer in the reach. This is like 460 in the reach. I'm riding a medium. I'm 5'8", and it feels like a long bike, but that seat tube angle is so steep that, you know, it makes up for some of that actual length in the reach. So it definitely feels a little longer than most bikes I've been riding lately in a medium. But now I'm super excited to ride. I've been riding a lot of 29ers lately, so it'll be fun to get back on a 27.5 bike. So I demoed this bike from Salt Cycles in Sandy, Utah. So if you're local, head in there, talk to Chris or Sam. They'll take excellent care of you. They know a ton about this new SB140. Cool thing is Salt Cycles also carries Ibis and Pivot in Cannondale, so you can go in there and check out a couple different bikes. Another bike that's kind of interesting to think about is the Pivot Mach 5.5. Comes back with 2.6 tires and it's kind of a similar geometry, slacker head tube and seat tube angle. But anyway, a couple cool bikes to think about. Yeah, the nice thing about these the Yeti Switch Infinity Link is when you really get on the pedals, we're not pedaling hard right now because I made these guys slow down so I can talk without having too high of a heart rate. But when you get on these pedals on this bike, this thing moves up, and it's not a light bike. It's a 30-pound bike. I'm riding the T1 spec build, so XT group set 12-speed. It's still the Turk frame, so the lighter of the two carbons that Yeti makes, it's the lighter version of the carbon. But I think it's like a $6,800 bike, all factory suspension. Anyway, let's get to the top and see how we descend on it. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, this is what we do, man. Go look through my old videos and check out some of the other bikes. It's always nice to, get a little information on a bike before you buy it. If you don't have a Yeti demo truck or dealership or a bike dealership near you, they call them bike dealerships, bike shop. It's always nice to get some information online from someone who's ridden a lot of the bikes. So yeah, check out my library of videos, and hopefully it can help you make your decision. Yeah, so stick around, subscribe, and hang out. Let's get to the top. Oh man, it's so fun. Oh yeah. So definitely not quite as stable as some of the 27 or the 29er bikes I've been riding. I think it's just a change in wheel size. Oh yeah, just scoots over all that kind of undulating terrain easy. Those are the first main turns that you're kind of up to speed. These 2.6 tires have tons of traction. Oh yeah, that feels good. That's kind of one of the faster, rowdier sections of this trail. Man, it feels kind of good to get forward on this bike, to kind of load your hips up closer to the handlebars through some of those turns. That's kind of how I naturally ride, but I feel like I have even more traction on this bike when I load up that front end a little bit. Nice, Tyler. Okay, that's kind of the fastest section of trail. Woo! Hikers. Down through all these braking bumps. Oh yeah, that's fun. Oh, dude. The rear end of this bike, the Yetis just have this really unique feel, like they just are skipping across the terrain. That was fun. A little bit of a tailwind down that whole section. Yeah. So I went off of Yeti's recommended settings on their website, and I'm gonna speed up the rebound just a little bit on this DPX2. A little bit faster. This is a pretty flowy flow trail, and so it's ultra fun, but even up there on Jacobs, where we had lots of like 1 foot and 6 inch chundery sections, it really skipped along the top of it. Didn't really get hung up on anything. Didn't soak it up really though. It just kind of skipped along the top of it like real quick like. Man, the SB140 might be the most fun I've had on a bike in a long time. Like, it's just so quick and agile through all the turns. Man, it reminds me of how I used to feel on my old Santa Cruz 5010. Not that they're exactly similar bikes, but it's really quick and fun feeling. Sam's putting on a clinic up here, trying to keep up with him. Dude, that was fast. That's so good. So good, man. Let's just roll through. It's like incredibly responsive to rider input, especially like loading up the front of this bike. Man, you can just push on it so much and just, it just goes. Nice, Sam. Let's see if we can catch Sam here. Oh, he's not pedaling. Oh, we've got riders, dang it. Hey, have fun. This section's super like pumpy and rhythmy. Yeah, I mean, I'd say the bike has a lot of life to it. Really snappy and quick feeling bike. Hit that double with ease. Dude, that was smooth. Dude, you're making that little SB130 look like a dirt jumper. Hey guys, I just got back from my ride on the Yeti SB140. Man, what an awesome bike. You guys got to watch the footage there, and man, I had so much fun on this bike. It is so quick and lively. The rear suspension just kind of skips and stays on top of all of the different chundery sections of trail and just skips along the top, which at first was, on Jacob's Ladder, was a little bit like, oh man, this isn't soaking everything up like I thought it would. But I remembered on the Yeti SB130, I felt the same way. It didn't feel like it was this super big bike in terms of its suspension ability going through chundery sections. It just kind of stays on top. It was still, you know, I was still in control of the bike, but it's not as composed as like Ibis HD4, for example. And I kind of, coming into this, I thought maybe it'll feel like the Ibis HD4, and it really didn't. And it didn't have the same downhill speed and composure of like the Santa Cruz Bronson, but it is a much livelier bike than the Bronson. The 27.5 wheel side, it gets up to speed really quick. So when you come into a turn kind of hot and you come out, your speed's a lot slower oftentimes. And getting it back up to speed, which is zipped right up to speed really quick, that's due in a large part to that 27.5 wheel size. And this Recon out back, it just rolls really, really quick. There was really only one section where the Recon wasn't good, and that's through a really kind of drier section of trail that was kind of loose, and it was really high speed. I need to grab some brake, and it kind of skidded a little bit. So I like the rolling resistance of the Recon tire on the back, but it also didn't have a ton of braking power, which for the most part wasn't a big deal. But another notable thing about the SB140 is I felt like the more I loaded up the front of the bike and really drove my hips in through the turns, which is kind of what I do naturally, I don't ride off the back of the bike a whole lot, it really responded well to that. And I remember the Santa Cruz 5010 that I rode some time ago was the same way. You just could load up those turns really hard and just explode out of the turns. It was really fun. It has a long reach, and I feel like I had a ton of room, not to overspeak this point, but I had a ton of room to move around on the bike. A lot of available, bike and body separation opportunity to move around on the bike. So it kind of felt fun because of that too, I think. It was just fun. Climbing, I thought it climbed well. I thought it definitely climbed better than the Bronson. It probably climbed on par with like a Pivot Mach 5.5, but you're in a better seated position because the seat tube angles got you out over the bars so much more, and that's really, really nice. Overall, like when I think about who this bike is for, like I know it's let's see, September 2019 right now, and there's a huge craze of 29ers right now. Everyone loves 29ers, and rightly so. They're great, and the geometry on them is just getting better and better and better. But so who is this bike for? Like, if you don't really care about racing or going super fast, you just want to have fun and have a really fun, poppy feeling bike, this is a really neat bike that can still handle some really chunky trails, but is still a lot of fun on the more like what you might call boring trails, or the slower speed flow trails, which I still have a ton of fun on, but they're not gnarly. There's no like chundery sections. It's still a lot of fun there. It's more fun than most 29ers I've ridden on those types of trails. And it still does fine on the chunky trails that we rode today. So I had a lot of fun on this bike. Like, I would say if you're looking for a 27.5 wheel size, this would be a really neat option. I really liked the 12-speed XT drivetrain today. The shifter felt really good, and when I hopped back onto the Yeti SB130 that Sam was riding with the GX shifter, it kind of felt janky in comparison. Anyway, there's so many good bikes right now. Thanks to Salt Cycles for letting me demo the bike and take it for a couple days. I had a lot of fun on it. And I get a lot of questions about my hip pack, so I'm just going to mention it one more time. It's a real minimalist hip pack, but as you can see, it hangs off the back of my back. It's not sitting up on the small of my back, so my back doesn't get all sweaty. It holds 2 water bottles that are super easy to get and retrieve and put back. It's a kind of a minimalist pack. Anyway, there's a link to the description of that pack below. The company who makes these is still offering MTB Yum subscribers or viewers 25% off. So get them while the getting's good. So there's a link to this Lab Austere hip pack too, but it's a really nice pack. I ride it every time I go out. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and watching my videos. I have fun making them. Wish I could get more videos out to you, but I get busy. So anyway, thanks, guys. See ya. Yeah. Well, it jumps good, that's for sure. I'll kind of overshot that one. Yeah, dude, that's a fun bike.